Hi everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Nevada Berg, and today we're going to be making Rømmegrøt. And what is Rømmegrøt? Well, Rømme means sour cream in Norwegian, grøt is porridge. So it's essentially a sour cream porridge. And it's a very traditional Norwegian dish. It's typically served on the setter, which is the summer farm that you would usually, typically when you were on the farm, you would herd up all the animals to this other farm up for the summer where they could graze. And therefore, you had a lot of milk. So it was a great time to start making different milk dishes, different cheeses, butter. So Rømmegrøt was actually typically reserved for the high holidays of the summer, typically in July. And they think that it's possible that it was this way because when you had so much milk in the summer heat, it was much more easy for the milk to curdle and to sour. So therefore you could have a lot of it and then you could serve it to a big group of people. So when I make Rømmegrøt, my favorite is from a local setter up here, from a lady named Sonia who makes it, and it's excellent. She taught me her recipe. I have it in the cookbook, I have it on my website, and a little bit about her story. And it just so happens the other day that she brought me some of her sour cream, or her rømme, that she had just made. And so if you want to come a bit closer, Ragnar, my cameraman, you will get to see the consistency of this sour cream that is made with the whole milk straight from the cow. And what makes Norwegian sour cream so unique and special is that it does have about 35% percentage of fat. So typically if you go to the store outside of Norway, you might not find such a high percentage of fat. And therefore when you're trying to make Rømmegrøt, it will be more watery and runny, and it won't taste the same. It won't be anything like it will be here. So I always say try to contact a local farmer, see if they make it and it's a high percentage fat, or you can try making it at home, and I also have a recipe for how you can do that as well. So let's get started. I'm going to take the sour cream that Sonia so lovingly gave me, and I'm just going to pour it into a thick bottom pot, because we're going to basically be cooking it on the stove for about half an hour. So this is your main tool right here. And look, this stuff is so delicious and thick. Look at that. Oh, it's like heaven. But it's so thick, it's actually a little bit difficult to get out of the jar. Look at that. And the thing about homemade sour cream is that oftentimes when you go to the store, it can be a bit bitter when you buy that sour cream. And it's very acidic, and that's because of kind of the preservatives that they're putting in there to make it last longer. You don't have that same acidity or bitterness when you get sour cream straight from the farmer. So I would always say go and actually compare and taste the difference. And then you'll try it and you'll think, oh, this is amazing. It's so much better. Okay, so I've got the sour cream in there. Now I'm gonna pop it over to the stove, and we're just gonna let it come up to a simmer before we start adding in the flour. Okay, so I'm just gonna start heating it now. Kind of bring it to a gentle simmer, and then we're gonna let it cook for about 10 minutes. Okay, we've got it to a nice simmer. I'm just going to kind of move it a little bit away from the front of the heat so that it doesn't start to boil too much, but it just has that gentle simmer. So now I'm just going to add half of the flour, and we're going to add the rest in a little bit. Yeah, say about that much. Okay, and I'm going to stir it till it's all blended really well. Woo! Watch out for anything that might be flying at your eyes. Okay. And now the color's kind of changing. It's becoming all congealed. Okay, now it looks all blended. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step back for a second and just kind of let it simmer for a couple minutes, or until the fat separating from the sour cream. So when the fat starts to rise, then I'm going to take that fat and I'm going to put it in a bowl, and we're going to reserve it for later. Okay, so now you can see, guys, I'm just going to skim off this beautiful fat that has been released from the sour cream, which essentially is just butter. Sorry, I'm going to pour that in so you can see. Look at that, a beautiful golden color. So we're gonna save this, we're gonna reserve it, and then we're gonna put this on top of the rømmegrøt at the very end. Okay, so I've taken out quite a bit of that reserve fat, and now I'm just gonna dump in the rest of the flour. And we're gonna stir vigorously, because we want it all to be combined. Let's see. I'll just cook it for like another minute or so, just to get it well incorporated and kind of to cook off that flour taste. It's kind of the same way as if you were making like a bechamel sauce. Oh my, it's so hot right here. Woo! Okay, so now I'm gonna add in some whole milk. And again, you gotta stir really vigorously because you want it well combined, and you never wanna leave or walk away from the stove right now. You wanna just make sure everything is really, really well together. And now you can see that it's kind of become kind of glossy on the bottom. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for it to be really nice, glossy, kind of thick, and kind of holds together. It almost looks like taffy. And it's just kind of sliding off of the bottom of the plate, so that's perfect. Everything looks perfect right now except for my lovely little brown flour burn bits, but it's fine, it's all good. Guys, I'm just gonna add in a little pinch of salt. Then combine it all. And then, once we've just mixed it all together, make sure it's all incorporated. Okay, I can take it off the heat, pour it in a bowl, we can eat it. So we've just pulled it off the stove. When we're ready to serve it, I'm gonna use one of the more traditional wooden spoons. Okay, so we're gonna put it in our bowl. And again, you guys, it was really hot on the stove, so I've got some of the brown flour bits in there, but I'm gonna be real with you, it happens and it's fine. It won't affect the taste or the texture. So now you've got your bowl of sour cream porridge. What do you do with it? Well, definitely have to add on a good scooping of sugar. Now we're gonna sprinkle some cinnamon on top. The more the merrier, or the less if you're not such a cinnamon lover fan. Then we've got this beautiful reserved, look at that butter that we took off of the sour cream when we were cooking it. And then we're just gonna drizzle that on there. And put a little bit more because why not? It's an indulgent recipe. You don't have it very often. You usually have it once in the summer. So it's good. And this is a traditional Norwegian rømmegrøt. It's perfection. It's so smooth. Because the sour cream came straight from the farm, there's no that acidity to it. It's not bitter or sour at all. It's very smooth. It's just that light little bit of sourness to it. It's offbeat with the sugar, the cinnamon, and then having the extra butter on top. This is absolutely a perfect dish, and it's so reminiscent of the Norwegian food culture. And I recommend, if you can't make it or you never get a chance to make it home, but if you do get to Norway, you must visit a setter and try this. And I really hope you guys do. But anyway, thanks for joining me again in the kitchen. And yeah, cheers. Enjoy your cooking.